Hey everybody, Unqualified Gamer here, and I'm here with another video. And yes, this is the first video of my Disney Quest review. So if you've seen the a Disney Quest intro video, I'll have a link for that video just in case you want to get great details of what this is. But just a quick run through before I hit this 1 minute mark. Basically, I'm going to take every mainstream Disney cartoon and I'm going to watch them in chronological order, and I'm going to be reviewing and giving you my thoughts on these movies one by one. So, in this video, I'll be covering Snow White and the Seven Dwarves and Pinocchio. So, let's get this thing rolling. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. Walt Disney's first featured film was made in 1937, and I watched it. It's been a long time since I watched that movie. And when I mean by a long time, I'm talking low single digits. I'm talking 5 years old, maybe 6 years old was the last time I've seen that movie. And you know what? I don't really remember. I don't really remember too much about that movie. As a child, the only thing I can remember is definitely like of course, the Seven Dwarfs, "Whistle While You Work," some of those songs. But honestly, I don't remember how the Queen died. I don't really remember. Like I remember like her eating, like biting the apple, but I don't remember the end with Prince. With the prince. Giving her the kiss and she's waking up. I honestly don't remember those parts at all. But watching it as an adult, now I have my footnotes here, so you're gonna see me look back and forth at my notes because I made some quick notes, and like I said, I'm gonna try to keep this thing at a minimum. So here we go. So Snow White, Seven Dwarfs. Actually, as an adult, I'm really impressed for something that was made back in 1937, hand drawn animation. And one thing I gotta say, um, that the animation of like the water was amazing. I have to say, when it rained in that movie, they just you just gotta imagine that the all this was hand drawn. Everything in this movie was hand drawn. The movie still looks so beautiful, but I would have to say that as far as me watching it as an adult, this is only a one time watch for me because that movie is so one dimensional. And like I said, I can't blame it for what it is because, like I said, it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I mean, yes, it doesn't follow directly from what Grimm's fairy tale has. And of course, Disney takes those stories and they Disneyfy it up. If you know what that means, basically. But basically, the movie, it flowed very well. The animation was beautiful, great scenery. The only thing, like I said, I can't really go because the one-dimensional characters. What really made that movie is the Seven Dwarves because they basically were seven different personalities. So each of them had their own personalities. The music was pretty basic, but it's like the prince was just very extremely one dimensional. Like he had no character whatsoever. Matter of fact, he really didn't have a name. He was just there. And then Snow White herself, she wasn't really that a big of a character in my opinion, really. But like I said, she's the focal point of the story. Even like I said, it felt like the movie kind of dragged on a little bit. It was kind of stretched because, really, to be honest, to tell that the story that Disney told, it could have been told within maybe 15, maybe a half hour. But they really stretched that movie. And one thing I noticed about this movie, it definitely has a very, very rushed ending because it seemed like everything just happened so fast at the point where you had the queen that disguised herself as an old woman, which was a very good design. I have to admit that design, she had the creepiest look in her eyes when she was looking into the window, and I have to say that part right there, it was just like fantastic. But the end of the movie, really, I just couldn't really get into it, especially the end of the movie. The princess comes out of nowhere, kisses her, she wakes up, and then leads her on the horse. He takes her on the horse. She says goodbye to the dwarves, and then they go like over like they they walk over to the top of the hill, and then a castle in the sky. The cloud parts. The clouds in the sky parts way with revealing a castle in the sky. And like I said, in another video, I could probably bring up some theories, but I'm just gonna leave it as that. Happy ending. The end. Overall, I mean, listen, it's the first of its first movie of its kind. It paved the way for what Disney is today, and I appreciate it for that. But as far as me watching it as an adult, I have to give it like a 6 out of 10. Really, I mean, it's something I really want to really go back to. But it's like I said, it's the basics though. It's the basic movie though. So yeah, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So next we're gonna go into Pinocchio. Let's go. All right, Pinocchio. Pinocchio. Let's go, man. Okay, Pinocchio was made in 1940. It is the second movie in the Disney lineup when it comes to theatrical releases. So I have to say, as a child, watching Pinocchio, very few things I remember from that because again, this is one of those movies where I watched it when I was in my single digits. Probably I was maybe a little bit older, maybe about 7. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where I was just like, that's probably the last time I remember watching it, and even then, it was just like I enjoyed watching it, but it wasn't really like my cup of tea. But going back and watching it as an adult, I have a lot. Well, not so much a lot of things to say about this movie, but like I said, I enjoyed this movie a lot better than Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. One of the main reasons I really enjoyed this movie because one, it was a lot of character within this movie. It's a lot of characters within this movie. A lot of like, not too many one-dimensional characters really, because Pinocchio himself was it basically was just a new boy, a new child, just learning life basically. Jiminy Cricket was easily one of my favorite characters in that movie. I mean, he had watching this thing again, I have to realize Jiminy Cricket was a freak of leak. Like every time there was some type of female figure or female in general, man, he will be ready to mac on that, like on at an instant. One of my favorite parts in that movie, I do have to admit, even though it's like it's a little harsh though, but Stromboli. When he had the puppet show and Pinocchio was doing his act, and they had the French girl puppets, dancing, and Jiminy Cricket just sitting there like, with a mean look on his face because he's like, man, look at Pinocchio making a fool of himself, and turns around, he sees these women, like these puppet women dancing on stage in frilly dresses and everything, and actually like tits, and he's just like he's kind of like he does a double take. It's like, oh my, like hey, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, yo, Jiminy Cricket was a freak leak. But the one thing I said, the main thing I really enjoyed about this movie is, like I said, again, like with Snow White, the water, Monstro, the sea, when he was underwater, that animation is so beautiful in my opinion. Like the way how it looked, the way how it flowed, and it's just a constant reminder. This is all hand drawn. There is no CGI in this film. It's all hand drawn. But the downside of this film is just like Cinderella. It's a rushed ending, a very rushed ending. Monstro happens. Like after the Monstro fiasco, Pinocchio is down and out. He's not responsive. They think he's dead. The blue fairy comes in, revives him, turns into a real boy because he was brave and everything like that. That kind of thing. Jiminy Cricket gets his medal, signifying that he's that he's a conscience. He's a certified conscience. But even he, like I said, but that's like the downside of the movie. But really, other than that, there's really nothing that I have to really like say bad about the film because it was fun. It was a fun movie to watch. It had a great lesson to it about life, about it's not just being a good person. It's just about understanding your conscience, really. Because even Jiminy Cricket, as Pinocchio conscience, he actually went through his ups and downs. Overall, like I enjoyed Pinocchio. That is a movie, even as an adult, that I will watch again because it is great. I also, before this 5 minutes market, I also love the transformation when the kid turned into a donkey. or an ass, because they actually said jackass in the movie. You know, kids were smoking at Pleasure Island. Kids were smoking. They was drinking. They were being destructive. They were basically being a bunch of jackasses, and they actually turned into jackasses. So that, like I said, that's also a pretty cool scene. But again, Pinocchio, I'm giving that an 8 out of 10. I will definitely watch it again. So this is part one of my Disney quest. So hopefully you enjoy this. If you like this, please rate, comment, subscribe. You know, comment down below. What do you think about these two movies I just talked about? And again, I'll like every Friday, I'm going to post up another part of the Disney quest of me watching the Disney movies in order. So until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. This is Unqualified Gamer signing out. Peace out.